I've had better mornings. I'm hoping like all of this showing up right now is gonna make my morning a little bit better, but probably not. You ever just have one of those mornings where you wake up and you're like, man, I should have just stayed in bed, or I should just go back to bed, because today does not seem like a day anything is going right. Well, that was my morning. We'll jump into all that in a minute. First, I'm gonna try and take my mind off it just for a second, because I'm furious right now. But some packages have showed up that I've been waiting for a while, so let's open these up real quick. In the previous video, I told you guys one of the things we want to start doing is enabling ourselves to sell work for gear at a lot of the shows that we go to. A lot of these shows, or a lot of the people that put on shows, have been wanting us to have work for booths there forever. We just have never really been set up to do it. So a lot of what is in this packaging here is to enable us to do that, and we'll be able to take credit cards, cash, whatever it may be on site. It's got credit card readers and docking stations and all kinds of stuff. And I believe in box number 2 here, we should have, oh, and for everybody wondering, I get asked this all the time, what is my everyday carry knife? It is just a Kershaw, one of the Ken Onion series. Super simple, all black on black on black. That way, you know, I'm not a big like fancy pretty knife carrier because they're gonna get beat up. But in box number 2, we've got our iPad stand for our POS system. Now, for what I've really been wanting for a long time. At this point, I run Milwaukee batteries, Zach runs Milwaukee batteries, Wes runs Milwaukee batteries. We've got a lot of Milwaukee batteries floating around the warehouse here. And we've got like maybe 1 charger here, even though we all own like 10, but none of us ever seem to bring them here. And if you guys think I hate boxes, I hate cords even more than boxes. So having 20 chargers running with 20 cords, not my style. Now, Milwaukee has had the like bank battery chargers, I don't know what you call them, whatever, for a while, and they got a couple variations. They got like the standard slow charging one, they've got the rapid charging one, which is this one, and then they got one that's like a hyper charging. But previous versions have always been sequential. So basically, you see you can run 3 18-volt batteries, 3 12-volt batteries. Well, the previous generations, they would charge 1 battery at a time. Once that one was fully charged, it would jump to the next one. Once that one was fully charged, it would jump to the next one. Now that's great if you're leaving stuff overnight, but if you're on a job site, we want to charge more than one at once. The newest version that they have here, and for those like my good buddy Wes, this here is the model 4859-1807. It's a little bigger than I anticipated. What made me finally commit to buying one of these is this one will actually charge a bunch of batteries at once. It is also a rapid charge. Now, the hypercharge little battery charging system, if you're running all high demand like 12.0 batteries, it's fine, but all of the standard batteries, it doesn't charge them much quicker. So the rapid charger is really all you're gonna need. This one will charge 3 batteries at a time, so either 3 12-volt batteries or 3 18-volt batteries at once. Unfortunately, they still don't have one that'll do all 6 at a time. And one of the other good things about this charger is they have this nice convenient handle, so you can carry 6 batteries in and out of a job site pretty easily. And while we're here, we might as well give you guys an update on Jake's truck and his 12-inch bulletproof kit. Now, we were waiting for a few parts. Unfortunately, the shims for the little steering setup that Bulletproof uses were not in the box. They were highlighted, but they weren't checked off as in the box. And then no reservoir mounts showed up, you know, to mount the reservoirs to the shock bodies themselves. Now, Jake called Bulletproof. Bulletproof said they were going to overnight them to us, so they should show up today. I'm hoping they show up today so we can finish this thing, because that's really all that we are waiting for. I'm not going to give you guys a whole reveal of the truck, but you can see we've got the Atlas springs in the rear, the Bulletproof shocks out back. And we've got the 40s with the TIS wheels. I want to show you guys, but I'm going to make you wait. But trust me, those white True Spike lug nuts look absolutely sick on these wheels. And then, of course, we've got the BBB back inside the warehouse safely, where at this point, I really wish my Ford would be living now, too, to avoid what happened today. But I gave this thing a nice good bath yesterday, and I didn't want it to be left out where the gardeners or anybody's gonna like blow a bunch of dust over it before we go to the show, which is tomorrow, which will have already happened by the time this video uploads. All right, I think I've put it off long enough. Let me go show you guys how my morning went. Oh, one more thing before we go outside and look at the truck. For those of you that have been waiting, the Mexican flag, American flag, Canadian flag, all decals are back in stock. There'll be a link to them right there on the screen, workforapparel.com. There's also one down in the description if you want to keep watching this video and not click off. So this morning I was awoken to some loud pounding going on. Now, mind you, in my neighborhood, they're constantly building new houses. So sometimes like a quarter mile away, somebody will be hammering something and it just kind of echoes through like the valleys and whatever, and you hear it at your house. So I hear a couple loud bangs, then I hear one more loud bang, which promptly sets off the alarm on the Ford here. And I'm like, oh great. Jump up, look out the window, check the cameras. Like, I don't see anything going on around the Ford. I sit there and watch for a little bit, make sure nobody's breaking into the Ford, and I see nothing. So I'm like, all right, maybe it was a false alarm, but obviously I heard a bang. I better go outside and check. So I go, I look on the passenger side of the Ford. I see no issues. Come around to the driver's side, and it instantly stands out. And well, it might be a little hard to pick up on camera, but maybe not, depending on the lighting. You guys can probably see it right there. I mean, yeah. That there is a big old dent in the door. And then I'm not sure if you could see it, but right down there, you'll see some pretty like recognizable markings right there. So instantly I go into detective mode because, well, obviously we got to figure out what happened, who's responsible, and how we're getting this fixed. So clearly from those markings on the side of the truck, it looks like a ball has hit the truck. Now in my neighborhood, there's a lot of kids, so it's, you know, to kind of point a finger would be a little bit tough. But I knew if I could find the ball, that's really going to help narrow things down. And being that when I looked out the window and checked the cameras, I didn't see anybody around the truck, I'm imagining whoever hit it took off in an absolute hurry. So I start looking around the neighborhood, and sure enough, the ball had rolled down the street after it hit my truck and was in a bush. I actually found the ball. So I go to the one that I think first is it's gonna be them. Their backyard is kind of in line with where my truck will be parked. So they have wrought iron into their backyard. So sure enough, I take a peek into the backyard. I see matching baseballs on the ground as well as a baseball bat, and nobody to be found, which means, all right, I've pretty much found the culprit. But you got to do your own detective work. Now mind you, this whole time I am absolutely livid. Like, this is a brand new paint job. If this truck had been the old Ford work truck, white paint, beat up, whatever, wouldn't have been a big deal to me. You know, we could have hammered the dent out or just left it. I wouldn't have cared. But the fact that this thing just spent 2 months getting this beautiful paint job on it, and now somebody decides they want to slam a ball into it, I was pissed. Go knock on the door and nobody answered. I know people are inside. I know their cars are out front. All right, this could get interesting. I don't want to have to get the police involved to go get somebody to come out of the house because I actually do like these neighbors. But if nobody's gonna come out, then we're gonna have some trouble. So luckily, I think the kid came to his senses. He realized I wasn't going away. I was staying at his front door. He opens up the front door. First thing he says was, "Hey man, my bad, that was me." And I'm like, well, come look at what you've done. So I bring him over, I let him look at the truck and like, yo bro, I get it. We've all been kids, we've all done stupid stuff, but we've got to address the issue here. Here's what happened. I appreciate you opening the door, manning up to it, but this has to get fixed. And now here's the problem. Here's the problem with this having to get fixed. Sure, there's some yay out there that's like, well man, that dang dent, that adds character. Now that is a part of your truck. But in my world, I don't like dents on my vehicles. And nowadays, there's a lot of really good dentless or paintless dent repair guys, which typically would be able to get something out like this. But if you look closely, let's take you on in here. And I'm gonna hope the camera focuses on this. I'm not sure, so bear with me as we try and get this thing to focus. It's gonna be tough. I might just have to post a picture of it, but right on this raised high point right here, all of the paint has now cracked. So again, I don't know if the camera's picking this up or not, but there's a bunch of spider web looking cracks coming off of that high point. Which to me, that is now a weak point. If we do a paintless dent repair, number one, we could chip off some more flakes of those paint. Number two, that's like a water intrusion point, and we could just risk big old chunks of paint coming off at some point. Like, that's now a weak spot in the paint. It's not a full sealed layer, which I absolutely hate. And here's problem number two. That is a custom color. Yes, it was based off like a 2008 Dodge like Charger gray that they made, but we've sprayed a pearl flake over top of it. And if you guys know, when you're spraying pearl, like I wanted a real light dusting of pearl. If you go too heavy, it starts to look rental car silver. I don't like rental car silver. So they did a real light dusting of pearl over top. So to try and match that perfectly is going to be extremely hard, and I don't want one door that's just a completely different color than all the rest of the truck, because now that just looks stupid. I don't want to have to repaint whole half of the truck, because that's just a bad idea. So back to what happened with the kid. I made him call his dad. Again, me and his dad get along. You know, we've been neighbors for over 10 years. Calls his dad, and you know, they're a real traditional family, so his dad's kind of telling me how like he feels like his family has been shamed now, and like they're just extremely apologetic. So how I plan on moving forward is I'm going to actually have the paintless dent repair guy show up today and just see how much better we can make that look. Obviously, the more work we do now, the less work that the body shop has to do in terms of prepping to get that painted. Well, guys, we've got our savior here, the Dent Geek. You guys may remember him from Eddie's channel. He's the one that has taken dents out of Eddie's Hellcat. I believe Eddie's truck as well when his truck got hit. He's going to work his magic, do the best that he can on the old Ford here. It's insane what you guys can do, huh?
Yeah.
It's like auto detailing. Like, it was such a small little niche thing, and now this is like blown up into...
Yeah.
Having all the tools of the trade. What do you call what you got in your hand there?
It's a door tool.
All right.
And it's like a ratcheting tool. Before, like 10, 15 years ago, it was just like one where you can't even, it's not, you can't adjust the handle.
Gotcha.
Before, but now you can adjust it to all kinds of, angles that you know. See.
It's crazy how by necessity the industry kind of adapts and tools start to come out.
Yeah.
Makes your job a little easier though, huh?
Every time somebody come out with a tool, it makes my job a whole lot easier compared to 10 years ago.
So you've been in this for a while.
Yeah, over 10 years.
Dang. All right. Well, I've seen every car that you've done on Eddie's, and you work your magic. So the one thing we were talking about is, if you guys noticed, that there is a high spot, and high spots are a whole different animal, right?
Yeah. Well, this one here is pinched to where the paint is. You can see the paint. It's
cracked a little bit.
Yeah. So, I mean, I can improve it, but you might still be able to see it.
Gotcha. The most we can minimize. That's all I'm looking for right now.
But that dent will be gone.
So Fern has brought his toy hauler. We're going to be loading everything up that we're going to be bringing to the truck show tomorrow. Look at this bad boy. I've never seen this thing in person, Fern.
Fernmobile.
The Fernmobile? Well, you know it's a commercial cooking rig. Look at that. What do we got there? A hot box? Well, Chris, come on, Chris. You got to get it up the ramp,
Chris,
dude.
are those OSHA approved sandals? They are. Thank you.
This is the competition rig?
Competition rig, but now it's
Truck show office?
truck show office.
Nice, dude. It's got a good sized bed in this thing. Makes me miss my toy hauler, man. Shoot, Fern, we're gonna have to get we're gonna vinyl wrap this whole thing work for. This is the official merch trailer right now.
Official. You think Monster's got something good? They ain't got no barbecue.
We got barbecue and blue collar.
All day.
So we've never, like I said, we've never sold merch at a show or anything like that. It's a lot you gotta pack up, and then you gotta figure out how many you should bring so you don't bring the entire inventory. A lot of stuff. I mean, is it just me, or is it already like walking its way back out?
Yeah, no, I'm just, a lot of it's gone. It's just
Soften it up a little bit as you push it out.
the weather is cold.
Gotcha.
Trying to heat up the paint so it won't crack on me.
I feel bad filming this part because I feel like you're as nervous as I am.
Yeah. Yeah, every time I'm tapping on the car.
Yeah. I mean, shoot, it already looks a million times better. I feel like you gotta have a ton of patience for this profession. And I feel like anything that I've ever had to have like that much patience for, eventually, and like the 1 hour mark, you're so over it, you start hitting it a little harder than you should, right? That's gotta be like the hardest thing, right?
Yeah.
To just keep finessing it and not overdoing it at any point.
Let's see if Wes can do it.
You wanna see if Wes can do it?
Yeah.
He ain't doing it.
He'll
Pop out his.
He'll get frustrated. Start
Yeah, Wes doesn't have
creating more
patience.
dents.
You got this, boy. It's not that hard, dude.
you
You got it, really?
Yeah.
Well, now we're dropping bags. For everybody that's wondering what it's like to own a clothing company, this is it right here. This is the glamorous life of bagging up hard hat stickers. We did change up our hard hat sticker lineup, so for those of you guys that have been waiting for our hard hat stickers to go back on the website, they've been off for a minute because we've been making some changes and some additions. We've added our little skull snapback sticker right there. He is now going to be in the hard hat sticker pack, as well as, oh, wait for it. Oh, if I can hold them all up. All of these boogers will now be in the hard hat sticker pack. And obviously they're not just for your hard hat. You can put them anywhere. Your phone, your computer, your teacher's face. I don't care. That's it?
Yep. Take a look at it.
Yeah, let's check her out. Dude, that's a million
I mean,
times better.
it's that, like I said, you're still going to be able to see that. You still see
The baseball. That we could probably buff out a little bit.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, I wonder if they could just throw a little clear on. I mean, look, even on the camera, there's like, you can't see any of that at all.
Yeah.
Dude, you're the man, bro. Thank you, brother. You just like made my day 1,000 times better. Let me tell you guys, the Dent Geek absolutely knocked it out of the park. You cannot see the dent anymore. I'm curious in the daytime to see if you see a little ripple or anything like that, but as of now, that looks absolutely perfect aside from the little bit of cracking. So if you guys are local, the Dent Geek, make sure you guys hit him up. I know he's done my truck, he's done a bunch of Eddie stuff. We got Fern all loaded up, ready to go for the morning, get the shop closed up. All I know is I'm stoked that I actually get to show up tomorrow with a non-dented OBS Ford. Last little bit for the night is to take all of the online orders out of here, so let's go. Chris, what are you doing, dude?
These cookies.
You hungry?
Yeah.
Alright. So as always, thank you guys so much for watching. If you have not subscribed already, please click the subscribe button now. That way you do not miss out on any future content. Don't forget to give this video a like and a thumbs up. Don't forget to check out workforapparel.com, because if there's anything you want in this life, you gotta be willing to work for it. You guys are the best. I'm out.
Roll the outro.
Damn.